They thought it was sweet and started celebrating. They ain't even peep how I was orchestrating. Raise a toast to the king, this is special occasion.
Okay, demons, now let's get information.
The blasphemy of Mike Todd never ceases to amaze me. Listen, I remember when Nas came out with the song called Hate Me Now. Him and Puffy did a rendition of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And Nas and Puffy, they were Jesus. They were the ones being crucified in this video. And people protested it, a lot of outrage, and rightfully so. This video was absolutely blasphemous. But when I thought about it, I'm like, Nas and Puffy, they're not Christians. They're not saved. They're unbelievers. They don't know any better. Their minds are blinded by the devil. Then after that, Kanye came out with his rendition of the crucifixion, with himself having a crown of thorns on his head, depicting himself as Jesus Christ. This was before his quote-unquote profession of faith and his salvation. I thought, Kanye is egotistical, bipolar. Who really cares? I mean, this is sacrilegious, this is blasphemous. Of course, these are unbelievers. We have very low standards for their ethics and morality, especially as it pertains to Christianity. But when it comes to the church, there is a higher standard. These guys, Nas, Puffy, Kanye, they did all this for the love of money, for entertainment. It was nothing more, nothing less. They just wanted to stir up controversy. That's what they did. As it relates to the church, there should be a different standard, different motivation. But it seems like Mike Todd, his motivation for doing this Easter service was not to glorify Jesus, but it was for entertainment and for his own pride and ego. Because Mike Todd said this about this service.
I want the person who feels lonely and isolated and like God doesn't care, I want them to see how amazing Jesus actually is and what God actually did for all of us. So I said, we're going to go to the edge on this. And they said, Pastor, how far on the edge are we going to go? I said, we're going to do everything short of sin. Oh, y'all, I felt the religious people, their booties got tight right there.
So Mike Todd is deliberately pushing the boundaries because he understands that publicity, controversy is good for his church. He is concerned only with entertaining and putting on a show. Now, I am fully aware that churches have Easter services. This is not anything new. The problem with Mike Todd's Easter service is the spirit behind it was not of God. The Bible says that all things should be done decently and in order, especially as it relates to the church service. 1 Corinthians 14. There was nothing decent or orderly about this world.
Step 1, find you a baddie. Okay. But step 2, she gotta have a fatty. Hey. Take a look, some, hey. Yeah. Look back at it. Uh-oh. What is she doing?
Friends, I don't have a fatty.
Girl, we keep telling you it's okay. Your little booty matter too, friend. Y'all know they don't be discriminating.
I'm getting to the money. Everybody back. I think I'm getting too much money. Everybody back.
Mike Todd is looking less like a pastor and more like a party promoter, like a businessman. Under no circumstances is it appropriate to have women dressed provocatively in church, referring to their backside. It doesn't matter what the point was, what the object lesson was. It is not appropriate. It is unbiblical to do something like this in the church. This is sacrilegious and blasphemous. This is a complete denigration of the church. Mike Todd is trying desperately to intertwine the sacred and the profane. He's trying to blend all these things together and convince you that it is acceptable because he's doing it. Look at the size of the church. Look at the crowd. Look at the views. Look at all these things. Look at these artificial metrics of success. This, in his mind, validates all of the things he's doing. A lot of false teachers have large churches. T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, Joyce Meyer, Joseph Prince. All these individuals are patently false in their teachings, their doctrine, and they all have massive churches. Stephen Furtick is not a person you should listen to. He has a massive church. Carl Lentz, Hillsong, they had a massive church. Bethel has a massive church. All of these churches are false churches with false teachers. So the size and the views and all those things do not validate his ministry in any way. It only shows us that the Bible is true. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 4, "For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions, and they will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths." Mike Todd is proof of what many people want and prefer in this day and age. They want a person who's going to tell them what they want to hear, tickle their ears, be very soft and weak around controversial topics, play the middle ground, not stand firm on anything, and just be very wishy-washy on some very serious and concerning issues in our time. Those are the types of pastors people want to hear. They will flock to these churches en masse and sit under these deceptive teachings because they too are under a strong delusion. This Easter service, the dancing, the songs, the depiction of Jesus and the woman being crucified on the cross is utter blasphemy and sacrilege. The same energy we had toward Nas and Kanye for blaspheming Christ needs to be given to Mike Todd. This is absolutely unacceptable. He's pushing the boundaries, and the further he pushes this type of stuff, the more he invites more blasphemy into the church. Mike Todd makes it seem like being a pastor is just so popular and fun, but it's really a heavy toll and a serious burden to bear. James 3:1 says, "Not everyone should be teachers because they will be judged more strictly." It seems like Mike Todd throws caution to the wind and he just does whatever he wants to do behind the pulpit. I rarely see a pulpit on the stage, but that's neither here nor there. Mike Todd just doesn't seem to truly care about the gravity of the office that he's holding. It is a serious responsibility, and Mike Todd needs to stop with the antics and preach what thus saith the Lord. Nothing else really matters. This Easter service was a picture, a microcosm of the culture of Christianity at large. It is all about show. This is unacceptable. The Bible says, know a tree by its fruit. And the fruit Mike Todd is producing, there's no nutritional value at all. It's just a sugar rush. That's all it is. And you're going to be starving, wanting more as soon as you leave. If you enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. Like this video. I'll be back next week with another one. This is Pastor Frederick. This is By the Book. Peace.